As far as I remember, blimey, that was a long time ago. As far as I can remember, G obviously was living in New York, down there on East 3rd Street, and obviously she knew it, but she'd been going backwards and forwards to England and New York and had sort of got involved. And it was the time of Freddie Laker, and he'd set up this thing where for 50 quid you could just literally pay on the plane. Well, 50 quid in 78 was a lot of money for us, we didn't have any money. So G was working for a magazine in New York, I can't remember which one it was. Was it Time? No, not Time, I can't remember, New Yorker or something like that, doing covers. And so from the money she got from that, she paid for all of us to, including Bron and Joy, even Joy, to fly out and do, I think it was originally going to be 5 gigs. And she'd set them up, not in typical venues, but in like community halls and stuff like that. And to tell the truth, I don't, because it was the first time I'd ever been out of England, you know, I've not even been to the Isle of Wight or anything like that. So I was just, you know, going crazy, you know, sort of from Dagenham to, you know, New York. And so I don't remember that much about it, to tell the truth, and not because I was out on drugs and stuff, but because the whole thing was such a blast. But I do remember the first one we played was, I can't remember the name, the name will be around somewhere, but that actually was almost like a gig venue. And there was this little brat of a kid, and I can't remember what his band was called, but oh my, you just don't know how much I wanted to bash him. Because he was a spoiled little shite. You know, the people's generalisation of a loudmouth American brat, well, that was him. And he reckoned his band was really cool and all this, and it wasn't at all, because at that time, punk to me certainly was like, you know, hardline Sex Pistols, sort of what we were doing, sort of thing. So he went on first, and then the support band was a black reggae band. And we was all standing outside downstairs when they turned up, and the bloke on the door wouldn't let them in, the front door. So we went, what's going on? He went, no, I have to use the back entrance. And we went, well, if they're using the back entrance, so are we. And he's like, no, it's not you guys, it was this funny racing thing that went on. And they were really, really good. Their main thing was, their main message was peace and love. And got on really well with them. That was really nice. And then, and it was funny, because after the gig I was hanging around with a guy called Johnny Dynell, and one of G's friends. He became a great DJ in New York eventually, and he took me past CBGB's, and who should be standing outside but this twat from the first, you know, little brat was standing there. So, and so saw CBGB's, and I didn't play that much. The next one we did was, now I can't remember if I get in sequence, and I think maybe the second one we did. Now that was in a funny little theatre thing, as far as I remember. Not many people were there, and we played with this band. Can't remember what they were called or anything, but one of their songs was about frozen broccoli, and I remember just laughing, because it's like, how could you have a punk song about frozen broccoli? And it was just like real do-laddy stuff, and I sort of really enjoyed that one. And then we were meant to play 2 nights at a place called Quando's, which was a Puerto Rican community centre just around the corner from G's apartment. And we were playing with a band called the Contortions, and James Chance, who was the lead singer, was doing this weird thing. I didn't like them at all. I never have, and I never will get that sort of new wave American thing. They did that decadency sort of arty thing. I never quite got that. So James Chance was there in his suit, and he'd just cut out one little square on his leg, and I remember thinking, you know, what's the point? And his stage act consisted of somebody flinging himself onto people, usually girls, and wrestling them to the floor, and sort of thinking that was all sort of hard line and sort of daring. And of course I went too close to Andy and Phil, and they sort of stuck the boot in a little bit, really, and so that was the end of that. And I remember Penn said, after this kerfuffle went on, Penn said, you know, I think we should have asked for 2-minute silence. And I went, can I have 2-minute silence, please? And this voice went, Mark 4. And I went, because Punk just died, or something fatuous like that. It was all this thing. Anyway, we did the gig, and that went all right. We only did one night there, and then the last gig we did was in a loft. I thought that was an attic. No, a loft in New York is like, it's downstairs, it's the basement, and it's the cellar. All right, so and that was really funny, because it was a friend of G's, and they'd hide in some bleachers, I think, you know, there's wooden slats you sit on. So we're all in there, and everyone's like, and it got full up, and all this sort of, everyone's buzzing, and all this. I'm standing outside having a sort of drink on the pavement sidewalk, and all of a sudden this God Almighty rumble. I went in, there's people just standing, hands on, looking round, and the bleachers had collapsed. But luckily they'd all landed on their feet, and all these people just standing like this. Anyway, bleachers went out, did the gig, and that was really good. Did the set. And then it just turned into an all-night sort of party thing. And the poor sod who lived there, I can't remember who it was, but all his pots and pans, saucepans got used as musical instruments, and everyone was just banging. The piano got sort of trashed. And yeah, and that was it. That was our debut tour in New York all those years ago. And the rest of the time I spent sort of wandering around the streets with Johnny Darnell and Annie Anxiety, who I later met, and they both showed me a few things. So. We played in. We played the Paradiso in Holland. I think that was maybe one gig we did there. It was specifically went over to do that. And
Groningen.
yeah. I'm not sure if it was that time though, because I think we specifically just did the Paradiso and then went back. It was just a one-off thing. And then later on, we got in touch with a band called the Workmates, who were around at the time. I really like that lot, and the Rondos, and got in touch with them, and we did a little tour around Holland, which was when we did Groningen, Nijmegen, Amsterdam, of course, Leiden, somewhere else, can't remember. And then we did the one in Dusseldorf, the one German thing, which is where we were late, and the punks all turned up, and it was pissing the rain and stuff, and then the police had turned up to see what these punks were doing. And police said, "Well, you can't stand here, you've got to move." And they went, "No, we ain't, there's a gig going on." So they turned the police car over and set fire to it. And that's when we turned up. And the police were going, "You're going to have to cancel the gig." So we said, "Look, if you cancel the gig, you're going to have even more trouble, you might as well." So we did that. But that led to a discussion in the Crass kitchen of should we do gigs abroad where we don't understand the law, and we're saying these things about anarchy and things like that, and saying go out and protest, but if we don't know the law, are we being responsible because we could be getting people into trouble, and no, in that case we should just do it in England where people blah blah blah. And I was going, I'm not so sure that's a good idea, because we could sort of go to America again, and we could sort of go to places like Hawaii and things, it's like, no Steve, no, look, shut up Steve, have enough, you don't know what you're talking about, he's young, bless him. So we ended up playing Huddersfield, Manchester, Blackburn, sort of, yeah. But I mean, in its own, in a funny way, it was good, because maybe I would have, because I was young and impressionable at the time, and maybe I would have sort of got too much into the, I like this, not the star thing, but I like all the treatment and all this sort of thing, and the exoticness of it. But I think by actually doing that, although it seemed a bit sort of martyrdom sort of thing, what we did, then we was really struggling to, like, well, where do we go then, and it's like, well, let's go to places where bands don't usually go. So we were the first bands to play in places like Cleaton Moor, right up there in the Lake Districts, and, you'd see punks walking across fields with rucksacks on. I think we were the first to really explore into, go out there into Wales, and try and get all over it. Scotland, we went to every dump you can think of, and I mean that in a sort of nice sense, but every deprived dump, horrible, threatening, menacing scumhole you can think of, we went to. I think the people came and they really appreciated it. I always remember we used to play Winsford in Cheshire. It's a nowhere place. It's nothing fantastic. Always used to play there every tour. And there used to be these two young boys who turn up with their mum, who used to pick them up, and their mum had knitted them woolly jumpers with the Crash symbol knitted on it, and I always been really amazed by that. I was like, mum sat there knitted, sort of with the ball, sort of doing this. So yeah, that's what we did, and I think that's and by us doing it, I think that inspired, got other people to do it as well.